hit record.
Okay.
Okay. You can record too. There you go. If you want to click that button.
Perfect.
So good to see you again.
Yeah, nice seeing you as
I
well.
wanted to do this for everybody because
All right.
so many people want to do something like this and they don't know where to begin. And I do want to encourage, those who want to do something like that they hire somebody who knows what they're doing. It's real important. I kind of get down on DIY design. It's not because I'm losing business or that it's, whatever. I I don't have any ulterior motives when I say don't do it. Because it's like,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
like you see a guy on the rooftop with a bed sheet and he's gonna make his homemade parachute and he's gonna don't do it, don't jump. Let me call the ambulance first so they're here, they can pick you up and take you straight to the hospital, something, because it's a scary thing. You put your life's work into something that isn't designed properly. It's like kids building a go-kart. You remember it's Spanking and the Gang, what it was, Our Gang, the old black and white show with the
Right,
kids,
yeah.
and they making stuff, and it's funny. That's a DIY design. There you go. Bless their hearts. So anyway, that said, let's have a look at what you sent. Here's your this is the space. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Oh,
Yeah, of
it's
course.
a repair. It won't.
Oh, it's still broken? Huh.
No, it's not anymore. Okay. Okay.
Oh,
It's
perfect.
wow. All right. I'm going to share. I'm going to share a screen here. This
Perfect.
is what we got. Okay.
Yeah, this is for the studio section. In terms of the live venue itself, there's a folder separately for that with just 5 different PNGs inside of it that mirror the Facebook image though, if we wanted to
Oh, I
start there.
forgot. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm recording this, and I'm not even showing. Uh, I don't think they're seeing my share screen necessarily. So I'm going to use the Zoom share when I do this. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I've got this fancy switching thing in.
Yeah,
Here's
of course.
our Zoom share. Now we can talk. Okay.
Great.
So, um, nice space. We have I'm going to have to click on page layout. Let's see, view. Move over here. I can't see what I'm doing. View. What's this? One page. There we go. Okay, so we got 30 feet and 6 inches, but it's wider here. It's wider by another 4 feet, and by
Yes.
35. Is this the? What are we going to do? You describe to me what
Um,
you're doing in these areas. Here, I'm going
yes,
to give
so
you control a cursor so you can point. Oh, there, right there.
great,
Okay, now
yeah.
you just click the screen with your mouse, and there you
Oh,
go.
perfect.
Now you got my pointer.
Right. Yeah, so all of this will be the studio itself. The live venue starts down here.
Okay.
I don't have that live venue part actually part of this document. This part was about the studio itself when we met last year to discuss all of
Okay.
that. Because yeah, for the studio itself, I definitely want to work with you, especially if we can make that happen to get this part going. I've been working on the financial projections, business plan, everything, try to figure out exactly what I need to put it all together. So I'm
Yeah.
looking to spend around 900,000 towards the studio itself. The live venue, yeah, over the last year, it's literally just been I need to make sure the studio is executed perfectly. I get the best people on it. I get everything sorted and prepared for that. And now I'm just getting started on the whole live venue side and the next steps towards the greater like business as a whole.
Yeah. Well, for a studio, are you on the ground floor? First
Yes.
question. How high are the ceilings? Second question.
At the moment, there's a 10-foot drop ceiling that I'm going to remove, but it's 13 feet above that.
Uh, um, so from the floor to
To
the
the,
hard
yeah,
ceiling above the
the
drop
next
is 13
13
feet.
feet. Yes.
Not too bad. Not too bad. Could be better.
Mhm.
Are there any like beams and stuff in the way in here?
The beams start at around 13 feet. I think there might even be more above that. It might go up to like 15, 16 feet, but the beam starts at 13 feet.
Now
That kind of
that's what
just
I'm
like
talking about.
bisects it.
Okay, understood. Understood. Now, see, beams. don't matter when we go to calculating room modes.
Mm,
The upper height where they got the large flat area between the beams, that's what sets your modes in the room. Underneath a beam, you may have a tiny different mode, vertical mode there, but it's small areas. And
right.
besides, actually, no, you're not going to get a mode there. You're not, because you have to look at it this way. Bass waves won't even see something this wide. If it's
Hmm.
what, 2 feet, a 2 foot beam thick, bass isn't even going to see it.
Right.
2 feet is what is about 500 hertz.
Mm,
So there you go. So
yes.
they don't
Perfect.
matter. We want the highest part, the flattest, the largest flat. That's what counts when we're talking about modes and distribution kind of stuff. What happened
Great.
to that? It died.
Oh no.
It died.
Interesting.
Died dead. Okay. Oh, there. See, repair. What's wrong with your?
Huh.
Oh,
I
dude.
have no idea. Yeah, that's weird. But yeah, this is just for the studio, so this is all thankfully not too relevant to today's talk about the live venue.
Okay. All right. Well, let's let me stop share. Let's talk about the live venue.
Yeah.
Um, how large is the space and how high is it? And
Yes.
what kind of systems do we already have? You know, if you have a ventilation system, you must have. If it's
Yes.
already in there, if it's working, um, we're going to need to make it so that, well, in a live venue, the noise of a, of a ventilation system, you know, when you have a rock and roll band performing, not going to matter that much. If you're recording, yeah, it matters a lot.
Right.
Um, if you're having a nice, if it's a nice, like a dinner show review place, yeah, the ventilation system has to be quiet. But again, if it's a rock and roll venue,
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Um, I
so
am just downloading these to send your way now, because I'm not sure if they got into the folder in time. But here is a zip that's sending, which will have like the 5 photos that were in the Facebook post about the live venue. So the space
okay,
itself is basically, um, if I can share my screen, I might be able to show it in the meantime as well. Perfect. Um, is it? Yes.
oh,
So we have up here is where the studio kind of
yes, I
lives up there.
recognize it.
It's the rest of the document that you saw. Then over here is where all of this kind of space will be like a cafe style restaurant with seating, and then the live venue itself. Then we have a staircase below ground and things like that. Um, so yeah, it's about like 50 feet by 30 feet or so, minus these storage area and staircase that kind of interferes with everything.
All right. Where do you have plan to have the stage and the audience area, the live
Right.
venue?
So initially we were thinking about having the stage here, but I kind of thought that would be a bit of a rough idea, given the studio's right there. So other places that we had discussed were maybe over here by the front entrance or over here in front of the fire exit.
Yeah, I would think that in the corner near the fire exit would have more coverage. You're going to be
Yeah.
you're going to have audience over near the studio entrance area, the storage area, the staircase, and the main entrance, and over in the food prep. Everybody can
Yeah.
hear. It's projecting out like that. You could
Yeah,
do
absolutely.
a little um,
Yeah,
circular
kind of.
stage there, or you can
Yeah.
use square, I suppose, but a circular, it depends on how large it is. It's 10 foot.
Yeah, 11 feet by, yeah, 15 or
Yeah.
something is what we had originally planned.
Yeah. You could angle it in because if the back wall is prepped in a way to project the sound forward so that you get a really good coverage, you want it to um, cover the place
Yeah, absolutely.
nicely. Um, with
And then
a 13 or 15 foot ceiling. That's nice.
At the moment, it's a 10-foot drop ceiling, but I'm definitely open to discussing with my business partner. The studio is all like going to be funded by me. The rest of this, I'm hoping that my business partner is going to see the benefit in spending a little bit extra to make sure it sounds great. Otherwise, I
Yeah.
might need to contribute some additional funding, gather some myself to make sure we can hire the right people and get this all executed properly.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I can't afford to have like a half-assed live venue compromising the studio that I'm putting $1 million into right
Yeah.
next door.
Yeah. The only reason you'd have a drop ceiling is to hide the HVAC equipment and pipes and whatever you got up there, right?
Yeah.
If it can go higher, I would go higher with it.
Yeah, so this is what the space looks like right now. So like the fire exit kind of stage section is right there. We already have like an old stage that we've torn up, just so
Uh-huh.
we can build something a bit better. But yeah, it's all currently just this drop ceiling.
I'd get up there and see what there is. Uh,
Yeah, I think I
Drop
have.
ceilings are fine, and they do okay. Honestly, for a venue, a drop ceiling is kind of a bad idea. Tell
Hmm,
you why? Because it will absorb sound before it gets way far out. And what you want in a venue, you want it to project so it pushes the sound out to the audience.
right.
And you need absorption somewhat. You need some absorption, yes, perhaps on the backside walls and stuff. Some thinner, maybe 6-inch panels. It's fine. It does. They do wonders. Especially you want to avoid flutter echo. You want to avoid parallel surfaces that are not treated facing each other. You can have one treated wall and one untreated wall. That's fine, but as long as the untreated surfaces aren't facing each other, you're fine. And treatment doesn't mean absorption. It means
Yeah,
something other than a flat surface. So you could put
yeah,
some diffraction there. You can put some angled stuff, panels or drywall or whatever. So it's not, you don't have that flutter problem. So you have sound propagation. And I know polys or curved surfaces or pieces of spheres, like a spherical device, a convex shape like a lens stuck on the wall. Doesn't have to stick out far, but different size pieces of a convex shape will help break things up and help the sound propagate in the space without uh, scrambling the phase. That's
right.
what they do. It's same way as a flat reflective wall. They will reflect in phase. They won't scramble the
Hmm,
phase. And a circular or geometric diffuser is what they call. They're not diffusers, but they're reflectors. Uh, will reflect it and keep it in phase and push the sound around and break it all up through the space so everybody can hear.
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
helpful. Something like that it's simple to do. It's not that complex, but they need to be placed properly. You can't just
Hmm,
randomly stick them up. Really, you need to know what they're doing and put them where they'll do what they need to do. Kind of thing.
yeah,
But
yeah,
up there,
absolutely.
I'm looking up there. You got quite a space up above, and looking at the
Yeah,
drop.
yeah, it's definitely a pretty good amount of space.
You
Like I
could raise
measured,
it up, man. But see
yeah,
the wall there,
yes,
it only goes up to the drop ceiling.
yeah, yeah,
Useless. So in
yeah,
order to separate the club from the studio, all these walls, well, not all of them, but the walls that go around the studio area need to go all the way to the very ceiling partition, okay,
yeah,
and seal.
yeah, absolutely.
But well, I'll get into that when we do that. I'll show you. So, you're going to have uh, noise issues having a club there
Mm,
from from your neighbors. They'll have an issue. You won't, but they
yeah.
may have an issue. So we
Thankfully,
need to.
our neighboring building is actually just a flea market that's only open on Sundays from like noon till 4, so we're in a good spot there.
That's cool. Okay, have you tried a noise? You need to probably do a noise survey just to be on the safe side. You don't want to
Hmm.
get anybody on your back after you're built and operating. Then you have to change stuff, and it gets real expensive after the fact. As Jack Nicholson, as the Joker said to the dirty cop, better be sure. You
Yeah.
know, so but you got some space there. If
Yeah.
you could bring that ceiling up as high as possible, you want to get it up to the highest part and drop it an inch below the highest or the lowest part of the ceiling or HVAC system or whatever. The pipes can be cut, of course, they can be changed and raised. But
Right. Yeah.
any like gas lines or sprinkler lines or anything that you got up there, bring it up an inch below that. That way you got the grid, and when you need to service something, you just push a tile up and slide it over. It's not going to be stuck or blocked.
Yeah. Absolutely. That sounds great. Yeah. The only thing I just need to figure out now is trying to find quotes for what this space might cost in terms of construction and design for the
Mm.
greater venue area, and
Yeah,
then yeah, working to secure that funding and talk with my partner and see what he's comfortable putting towards the funding for that.
yeah, yeah. Um, Check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
That's great. Well, yeah, I definitely look forward to working with you on the studio itself once I can get this initial push for funding together.
yeah. You're welcome. But I highly recommend a noise survey if you would.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
means having uh, somebody come in and blast a real good sound system inside there as it is, just as it is, and close the
Right.
door, go outside and measure the noise levels outside. Do a sort of a field transmission loss test, basically.
Hmm.
Um, that's a E336 ASTM. If you can hire somebody to do that for you, that would be really helpful. Just as it is, find out what your walls and your building will support as far as sound transmission.
Great.
Um,
Yeah.
then you have something to present to the council that okay, yeah, our walls are this, and it will be confirmed to be lower in level than what's written here, that kind of thing.
Great. Yeah, I'll definitely get someone to come in and help me out with that.
Okay. And remember ADA rules too for a
Hmm.
place like this. You got handicap, make sure your
Yes.
toilets are everything's set up. You got parking and all
Yeah.
those regs there. This is off the top of my head. I don't have a list here I go by. It's just,
Right. Yeah.
um, you might want to well, everybody's going to be watching this in the group, and Rod Gervais may want to comment here on different code issues with places like this, and it can be very, very helpful. Um,
That'd be amazing.
I would say Rod's about the expert on that.
Great.
Um, Next photo. Can't
Yes.
think of anything else about that one.
Yeah, that's just the little storage space. Oh, there's a little bit better view of what we got going on up there.
Yeah, I see diagonal cross bracing up there.
Hmm.
Mhm. Interesting.
And then yeah, all the old information about the studio itself. But yeah, in terms of the venue, yeah, this is basically what we
Oh, now this.
have to work
We
with.
got
Yes.
a window wall here.
Yes.
All right. Those are notoriously poor sound barriers.
Hmm.
So if it's papered up because it was a club and they liked it like that, you might as well build it over.
Hmm.
Replace all the glass with a good solid wall construction. Um, Honestly, however, if it's a separate building out in the, in the area, you've got its own parking lot and everything. If you build a good solid exterior partition, standard building wall, you can get 55 to 58 dB STC from the building without a
Mm,
room in a room or anything like that. And that's all you're going to get
right.
because due to flanking paths, and it may be you may get some rumble from the parking lot out there through the floor, maybe depending on how old it is. Because if this is a slab on grade, you usually don't have any transmission through the slab. It's damped. It's an infinitely damped partitions, what how it's termed. However, due to age and drainage issues, there may be a water channels developed underneath the slab going diagonally across, going out somewhere. And
Right.
it's making it hollow and there's air under there. And that can cause a resonance. And sound will transmit right through that slab in that area where there's air, and it'll vibrate and it'll carry. It's not damped, in other words, it's lost its damping. So that's something you might want to explore. I don't think it's going to be a problem with the club, but
Mm,
I'm just saying that your noise output can be, if you have door good sealed doors and good sealed windows, if the glass is doubled and it's heavy and laminate, um, that will get you there. And then we need to calculate how far you are away from the next building or your neighbor.
right. Yeah. Great. Yeah, this glass wall itself opens up to uh basically street front, unfortunately. It's just papered over, I think, because just to hide the mess that it was before we even got the building.
Right.
Um,
Okay. What's across the
yeah.
street?
Across the street is an empty parking lot.
Oh, well, that's good. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's great. That's great. It's fine. Okay. A glass like that will resonate as though it were a speaker. If you've
Hmm.
got a club going here, you can hear it down the block,
Yeah.
which is not good. Usually, city code requires at the property edge, maximum of probably 50 decibels at night. That's the
Right.
max. And so, and you're going to be, it's a club, it's going to be going at night. So there you go.
Yeah.
That's a 50 dB at the curb is not going to happen. Because
Yeah.
if you're playing in here, a band is playing, you're going to have 100 decibels in there.
Yeah.
And you have lots of low frequency. Low frequency go right through that. The glass panels will vibrate just like a speaker. And it's the speaker pointing to the street.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a bit of an issue with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you may want to think about just building it all in, especially if it's a club. I mean, shoot, you put a window or two, no problem. But um, they need to be prepared or prepped as sound windows so that
Right.
they
Yeah.
they block as much sound as the solid wall will.
That makes sense. And yeah, I think that's about all the photos that I have here, really. Yeah.
Oh, when I mentioned the glass acting like a speaker, it's
Hmm.
it's it's a speaker with a low pass filter on it, basically.
Right. Yeah.
Because the high frequencies aren't going to make it act like a speaker, but the low frequencies will.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. So I definitely, uh, I definitely want to get some ideas in terms of quotes and things like that, so I can prepare everything and definitely let my partner know that we should spend some more time thinking about this before trying to move forward. But yeah, thank you so much for the help.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Got anything else on this?
Not a whole lot else in terms of photos or ideas for the live venue. Yeah, we're still in the early planning stages of just like, okay, where are we gonna put the stage? How are we gonna approach this? What are we gonna do treatment wise and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it has to be, go ahead and stop sharing your screen.
Yeah,
Um, I don't think it has to be, so, oh, give me the live venue stuff. Let me download that. Um, I don't think it has to get so expensive. Live venue.
mm,
You know, it's going to be a money making project. The idea is he needs to get in there and start making money.
yeah,
Um, I would encourage him to do everything right from the beginning and at least do the minimum so that he can successfully operate, because he gets shut down later. Yes, that's a failure.
yeah,
Um, um, or if you spend too much money and go bankrupt, that's a failure too. So it's a fine line. But
yeah,
do check out all the codes, make sure you got everything lined up and you know what it's going to cost before you pull the trigger, so to speak. Um, with a venue like that. Oh, geez.
yeah,
I mean, uh, I'm just giving the usual old age wisdom advice. Be careful. Take your time.
yeah, of course.
Don't just jump in.
Yeah,
Count all that kind of stuff. Um,
yeah,
but
because
I
it
hope
took me,
Rod, I hope Rod Gervais will comment on the video and help with some suggestions on codes and the process there. Um,
that'd be amazing.
there's let me think. Hmm. Um, about it. You're gonna have to hire a good architect, I suppose. Or
Yeah,
I can help with this design. And there are a few in the group that do um, venues as well, and so they understand about sound propagation and not a lot of absorption in there. You need some absorption in the ceiling, but not as much as a drop ceiling will give you.
right.
Um, it's complicated.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not like a recording studio. It's a whole nother thing, as they say. Um,
Right.
it's more large room acoustics rather than small room acoustics. Recording studios, even with very large tracking rooms, are really small room acoustics. When
Mm,
the tracking room gets very large, like you want to put an orchestra in there, then you're getting into large room acoustics and more um, a few different things. You're going to have um, in a large room like that, you're going to have air attenuation. You're going to have temperature attenuation. Also, when you fill up a club with bodies, you're going to have a lot of absorption there. So you don't want it in the ceiling. You want some projection out so it gets to everybody, so everybody can comfortably hear. But you also want them to be able to talk to one another without yelling in each other's ears. So
yeah.
it's a fussy thing. You have to test the place with and without people and see how you can get a happy balance. And I remember Ron told me once, he says, when you're designing places like that for a crowd, for a group and a committee, you have to make everyone equally unhappy. And then that's success.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
if one group is happy and the others are not, it's not going to work. You got to make everyone equally unhappy.
That's a
So
great way to think about it.
yeah, it's funny. So yeah, something like that.
Amazing. Yeah, like I definitely I definitely am glad that I approached the group because I didn't want to just follow along with my business partner, especially after spending a whole year like, how are we going to make this studio work? What's everything that I need? How is this all going to come together? How am I going to get the funding? And then being like, yeah, let's half-ass this live venue. That just doesn't make sense. So
No. Oh dear. Yeah. 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 Don't everything you do, make it count.
yeah,
Make it count. If you're going to build something, make it so that, oh, this place is temporary, so I'm just going to build garbage and throw it away. No, no, no. We'll build something nice and we'll make sure that we can detach it and take it with us later. That kind
yeah,
of thing. Make everything count. So,
absolutely.
I mean, life is, well, nothing lasts.
Mm.
Nothing. I mean, you look at how far can we go back into civilization where we can find things that are still just standing and working just fine. Not very far.
Yeah,
So, but for our lifetimes, let's make it last as much as possible.
yeah.
uh, okay.
Amazing.
Well, it's good talking to you, and I
Yeah, it's
hope
great
I
chatting
was
with you as
helpful
well.
for everybody else too.
Yeah,
Um, all righty then.
it's great.
I'll 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 talk to you again soon. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Take
All
care.
right. All right. See you
Have a good
guys.
one. Bye.
Okay. Bye.